guys, welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Now you may have noticed the lighting change, and that's because I finally got my bedroom light sorted, so it looks a lot more brighter in here. So to be honest, I don't think I really need a ring light anymore, even though my one's been broken for ages. But anyway, let's get into the video. So for today's video, I've gone for top 10 remakes. Now this is simply because we've got The Running Man coming out at the end of the week, which I'm hoping to go and see over the weekend. If not, it might be the following week, so we'll see. But I thought I'd go through these and sort of like go through what my favourite remakes are, at least from when I've watched them. Obviously this can change when I do rewatch them and do a proper list and things like that, but this is going off of my current. And some of these I don't have the remakes for, whether that's because they're on streaming or they just don't have physical media, or I just don't own them yet. One of the two, one of the three. So I'm going to show the original film, but obviously I am going to be talking about the remake instead. So these are in a particular order. Some people might be shocked that some of them aren't higher, but we'll go with it because this is my own personal choice. So let's get into it. At number 10 is Annie. I actually really enjoy this remake. I have done original versus remake for this one. So if you want to go see my full thoughts on both films, go and check that out. But I think this is a great modern retelling of the Annie film. It's done differently, and so it still follows a similar plot, but it's more, I think the music's more my kind of music, very pop, very upbeat, sort of like The City Is Yours. I've said that before in the past, where that's one of my favourite songs from this film. Cameron Diaz, I love her. Didn't realise Jamie Foxx can sing so well. Sometimes celebrities shock you with their singing voices. But yeah, so Annie's at my number 10 because the rest of these I have a lot more enjoyment for than I do this one. So as I go on, each one gets a little bit more fun for me, and ones that I've revisited more. Next one, I've actually only watched the remake once, but I thought it was really good, and that is Roadhouse. I actually quite enjoyed the Roadhouse remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I randomly watched it was it last year it came out or the year before? I can't remember. And I felt like watching it because I'm sort of like, I do quite like my fight kind of movies. And so I did watch the original, which this one is the hour release of the original. Showing that off whilst I've got it. But I actually quite enjoyed the remake. It shocked me, some of the stuff. If I didn't, I do apologise. But the remake is actually a pretty decent one. I think a lot of people weren't happy with some of the bits. But you know what? I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. And thanks to that coming out, I then watched this one. And I did not realise that I was going to enjoy this one as well. So I look forward to seeing what this is going to be like in 4K. I do really need to start getting into watching my films when I buy them, because this is one of many films that I have brought. Still haven't watched. Okay, at number 8, I'm going to have to cover these up. And it is... No, I'm joking. It's not Nightmare on Elm Street. It is Friday the 13th, the 2009 one. So I really enjoy this one, mainly because of Jared Padalecki, but also because this was actually my first forte into the Friday the 13th films. And I think that's why when I decided to do, I was going to be working on a ranking for them every time Friday the 13th come around. Keep missing out. I'm going to try and do it next year. But I say that was my first forte into Friday the 13th films, and I think it's dark and gritty and I like it. Some of the camera shots are really good. There is a panning shot which leads to one of the characters being killed, and it's just like, whoa, that's really cool. Also, one of the characters I was surprised died. That shocked me when I watched it. But I like this Jason. He's very dark, gritty, sort of like, he's not sort of like this mythical creature, because obviously in the other films he's sort of like, he teleports from place to place and things like that. But this one, he has underground tunnels, and it sort of explains how he can get from A to B. And yeah, I just enjoyed it. I think 2009 had a very good hit of horror remakes, and I think you'll notice a lot of them in this list. Okay, at number 7 is one I've actually only watched the once, but I was shocked at how good that was, and that is Evil Dead. This was a really good remake, especially the final scene. Oh my god, the blood, the gore, it just looked amazing. So if you want a good remake, this is definitely one I'd recommend. And like I said, I have only seen the Evil Dead films once for all of them. I've not watched them twice yet. Evil Dead Rise I've watched twice. I tell a lie, I've watched that one twice. Everything else I haven't. But as I do really enjoy this remake. It is so dark and gritty and just, yeah. And it's got Jane Levy in it, who I knew her from Suburgatory. And so I need to rewatch this at some point. And then the lovely Jamie found this with a slipcover and he sent it to me. So thank you so much. But yeah, I do need to, I'm going to rewatch the Evil Dead films and I'm going to do an Evil Dead ranking when the new one comes out next year, which is Evil Dead Burn. Unless it gets pushed, then I'll be pushing my ranking. But yeah, Evil Dead, another good remake. Okay, at number 6 is another one that came out in 2009, I believe, or was it 2010? 2009, I think. No, 2003. Oh, was it 2003? Oh, wow, I thought that was 2009. I take it back. And that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I think, I will be completely honest, I think this one was my favourite out of all the Texas Chainsaw films. I think I did do a ranking when the new one came out on Netflix, but I cannot remember what I picked. But this is a really good remake. Yet again, dark and gritty. I like my dark and gritty. What? I'm not right there. But no, this is a very, very good remake. It's one that I seriously recommend people to watch. If you're not wanting to watch the original because of all the stories you've heard about the behind the scenes and things like that, then give this one a go because it is so good. There is a shot as well with a character with a bullet through the head and it's just wow. Yeah, so this one, definitely recommend a watch. But now we're into the top 5. Now, 2 of these remakes I have only watched once so far, but I do really, really want to return to them because they are enjoyable. But at number 5 is Footloose. I really, really enjoyed this film. Fake ID is now one of my most played songs on Spotify at the moment. And just, yeah, this was a fun movie. I love my dance movies. If a lot of you don't know, I used to want to be a dancer growing up. And so these dance movies sort of inspired it. Step Up was the main one, but sort of after watching a few more of these, it was like, yeah, I wanted to do it. But yeah, Footloose, absolutely amazing. I do love the original as well. I think I did do an original versus remake for this one, or I might have not done and I planned to. I cannot remember. I need to go through and see what ones I have and haven't done. But no, I really enjoy this remake. It is fun, enjoyable. It's very modern and I love it. Miles Teller in this, so adorable. And so yeah, if you want a upbeat remake, this is one I'd recommend. Now, some people might be surprised this is not at like my number 2 or even my number 1, but it is still in my top 5, and that is the Lilo and Stitch remake. Obviously, I don't own the remake at the moment because I couldn't afford it, but I will be picking it up soon. So hence, here's the original. But yeah, Lilo and Stitch remake is one of my favourite Disney remakes. I will be completely honest with you. I think they did a good job. I was so worried about it. I was panicking. Lilo and Stitch is my childhood movie. You all know this. I mean, help me, I've got the tattoo there. So when it comes to remaking my favourite films, I do get very protective of it, and I think we all do. But it was so good. It made me cry. It made me laugh. Stitch looked adorable. They changed some things up, which is nice. For me, I love a remake when it does that, when it just doesn't copy and paste. And yeah, so I'm gutted some of the characters weren't in this from this film, but apparently they should be there for the sequel, so we'll see. But no, this is definitely good. I think the only thing I was a little bit down about with the remake is the whole Pleakley and Jumba. It weren't as great as I was hoping for, but to be honest, Stitch was my main concern. So the fact that I come out of that film crying says something. So yeah, that is my number 4. At number 3 is a classic from my childhood, and it is Freaky Friday. I think a lot of people do love this remake. Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis. We even got Freakier Friday this year, which I enjoyed as well. And it's coming on Disney Plus this week, so might have to give that a rewatch. But no, this is a fun remake. I had watched the original for an original versus remake, was it last year? Or it might have been this year, I can't remember. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the original, but this one was a lot more funnier. I love these two. These two need to do more movies together. I'm glad that they both came back for the sequel. Loved that. That just meant the world to me. And just, yeah, so I need to give this another watch at some point. Might watch it before I watch Freakier Friday. again, but we'll see. But now into my top 2 of the top 10 remakes. Now, some people probably know what my top 2 are going to be, but we'll get into it anyway. So at number 2 is one that I did not realise was a remake until a good few years ago, because I had watched this when I was growing up, but I didn't know about the original till years and years ago. And that is The Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Of course, this was going to be in the list. I still need to watch the original Mummy. I have not watched that one, but I'm sorry, but I've seen clips of it. This is still going to be my favourite. Like, I love Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. We're getting a Mummy 4, which I'm so happy that them two are coming back. I'm hoping it's going to be good. Touch wood, like, it is going to be good, because otherwise I will cry. But yeah, absolutely amazing remake, and say very modern, and just so many funny moments, so many fun characters, some very dark and emotional moments. And so if you have not watched The Mummy, seriously, do give this one a watch. But at my number 1, if people know me, which I think you all do, my number 1 is a vampire film. And it's one that surprised me, because I do love my original, but this one does come so close, and I still love it, and I rewatch it to this day. I got to see it in the cinema. I'm so happy I did. And then I brought it physically, and I've watched it multiple times now. But my number 1 is Fright Night. This was so well done. I love the fact that they changed some things up in here. Colin Farrell did such a good job as Jerry, made it his own. He didn't copy Chris Sarandon's. And then you got Anton, how do you say his name? Anton Yelchin? Sorry if I butchered that. R.I.P., which I did not know he passed away till a few years ago. And yeah, it is a fun remake. David Tennant as Peter Vincent as well. I loved his character in this. To be honest, his favourite character of mine is still the 10th Doctor, but this one comes very, very close. But this is by far my absolute favourite remake of all time. So far, there's still a lot of remakes I haven't seen and that I do need to watch. So seriously, if you really enjoyed the original, I think you're going to enjoy this one. Especially since there is a cameo from the original Jerry, which I did not know until a few years ago. So when I rewatched it after finding that fact out, I was like, as if that's a thing. So yeah. But yeah, so at number 1 is Fright Night. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to this channel, then go ahead, hit that subscribe button and also notification bell down below to be notified when I post. And leave me your comments and thoughts on this top 10 remakes list. What is your top 10? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!